Hi everyone, Alicia here at Cosmic Gateway. Just wanted to do a additional message, just for some more information around things that I've been observing in the twin flame dynamic that have come past. Part of what I've been experiencing, but also what I see and notice in sessions. And I felt guided to put this information out there because I think that it would be beneficial for people to understand where they might be currently at. And obviously, this message probably won't apply to everyone. Well, more than likely, it's not going to apply to everyone because we are all at different stages of our journey. So if this message is for you, great. If it's not, that's okay too. And if you feel guided to still continue watching, this might be because it might give you some insight of what's to come, perhaps. Perhaps. So just so you get a bit of background, the work that I do is in energy, work. So I work through people's energy body to help clear and release energy. And to activate the higher frequency in their ascension process. That's part of what I do. I do a lot of what I call twin flame or twin soul energy, divine partnership energy alignments. And what that means is that I work on both counterparts' energy and help them clear and align and integrate. Which then, doing the energy work then translates into the physical. So, what I have been noticing is there's a significant change, and I love what I do because, I see new things and amazing things all the time, and, I have to try and understand what that means. Especially when I haven't witnessed it before. So I have to take some time to kind of go, okay, well, I'm interpreting what I'm seeing to understand what this means and how it's going to translate. So bear with me. So what I have been noticing, and this is not just in twin flame sessions, I have been starting to see this more, which is amazing. I'm starting to see people's energies becoming more of what I would call ascended or in rainbow body form. And what that means, or how I see that, is less defined chakras and more merging into one energy form. And what I'm noticing is the colors are changing too and becoming lighter, more metallic, or more vibrant with more light aspect in them rather than a dense color. So if you look at the images that I've painted, I did them earlier in the year. There's one there, and there's another one there. And I'm in the process of doing a third in the sequence. And it's really interesting how it's so all interconnected because when I did those artwork, I was very guided to do them. And all my artwork, I don't consider myself an artist by any shape or form, but it's just a form of expression for me to kind of put out how I interpret, how I view the energy work that I do, I guess, to give people a visual in what I see. And quite often when the images come to me and I start to paint them, it always ends up completely different to what I originally had in mind. And it's through that artwork, I start to understand more about the energy process and the connections, and I get a lot of insight through that. So what I have, and this is very, very recent, I've been observing that their counterparts are in a different energy octave or state. Now, obviously, once again, this doesn't apply to everyone, but just going off a session and some feedback that I've been getting literally in the last 24 hours is that what I observed is normally through the alignment sessions, there'll be some clearing and, bringing both energies into the same frequency or assisting that process, And what I saw was one counterpart energy in a much more sort of light color, more pastel shades. And the other one was very clear, no sort of gunky energy, very clear, but more vibrant colors. So almost like looking at the pictures behind, one was more in that state and one was more in that state. And I observed it for a while. What is this? What does this mean? I haven't seen this before. And so, after thinking and processing, I guess the information that came was like one is accessing that 5D energy embodiment, and the other one is not quite at that phase yet. And that is so very, very common in the twin flame dynamic, is that how I see it is we work as a team. Regardless of what's happening on a physical level, from a soul level, we work as a team. And so one will path the way and go through these frequency jumps and in their ascension process. And that kind of like string pulls the other along. And then it can swap. It doesn't mean that one is better or worse or anything like that. It's just that process that you have decided to go through together, part of your agreement. And what is interesting is that, people where I'm seeing this difference is that they're feeling less connected. So when I say that, they're not in that constant, as we experience, in that constant state of thought of the other, and picking up on their emotions and picking up on their thought patterns and the telepathy that goes with it. That's kind of dissipated. And they're kind of more in that state of anchoring, filtering in that higher aspect of self, and really focused on their soul path and mission. And it's not, how do I say this? Their counterpart is, in thought form, less significant at this point. And so, of course, that can make people a little bit concerned when you go from these extreme feeling their energy constantly to then it easing off a bit. It's like, whoa, what happened? Our mind wants to make sense of it. Like, ooh. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just part of that phase, and it can go in and out. It can change as if you've been on this journey for a while. It does go in and out. But it's really nice to see that people are sort of really anchoring in that integration. And the way that I see the divine partnership journey, and this is from my perspective, of course. So take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, that's cool too. How I see it is, as we connect and we go through being connected and then separating physically and then going through that, what happens is there's activations, and those activations awaken, our consciousness and our energy body. So we go through the clearing and the purging to anchor in and integrate more light. Now, it is one possible process that you can go through your ascension. It's not everyone's path in this lifetime. And it's a way that we can go through it as a team, which is a beautiful thing. It really is. Obviously, it presents a lot of challenges in a 3D reality, because we're in this transition from moving from a 3D template of relationships into a 5D template of relationships and ways of being. And so we have to unravel all this conditioning and programming and all these layers that we've accumulated along the way in this lifetime and other lifetimes, and obviously what we hold in our ancestral. So that's where my work comes in, because I work on helping facilitate, clear that out for people. And so it's very interesting to see that the people now are kind of like, what seems to me is anchoring in, and that's in my opinion, that is the goal of ascension, is to anchor this higher dimensional aspects of self in the physical form. And you might call it your higher self or whatever, there's different terminologies, but that is the goal. And to see that happening now through my work is absolutely amazing. I am just so taken by it. It's incredible. So it takes look, a lot of hard work to get there. There's a lot of clearing. There's a lot of, delving into those places that we don't want to go. But, that is the goal, and it's an ongoing process, and everyone is at their own pace and stage. It's not a race. Everyone will get there. It's a soul's choice of how quickly or fast or however we choose to do that. So just know that if wherever you're at is absolutely perfect, wherever your divine counterpart is at, it's exactly perfect. And I guess one of the other observations is that, quite often people talk about, one twin being in the 5D and one being in 3D and, all those kind of theories and terminologies. And the way that I see it is that, yes, there will be one that kind of goes through their awakening process first from a physical perspective, and they kind of like path the way. And that can be frustrating because it's like frustrating, like, why can't they catch up, and will they awaken, and all those things that go with it. But if you look at it from a bigger perspective, it keeps a balance while we're going through this transition on a planetary level. Because the way I see it is that one will be more physically anchored energetically and consciousness-wise into the 3D reality and go at a slower pace. And the other one may go through a much more rapid ascension journey. But because you're connected energetically, it's kind of like feeding back and forth this energy, this higher energy to them, spreads it out. So if you look at the grids, the energy grids that hold this reality into place, and one's dissolving, the other one's emerging, it's kind of perfect. And I've kind of always seen like the counterpart that is kind of still kind of ingrained in that 3D, for lack of better words. They're holding this balance until the collective is kind of ready to take that big jump, that quantum jump in evolution. So it's kind of like keeping things into place till we kind of take that next step up, and you can see that is happening at a very, very fast pace, which is so incredibly exciting. So I just wanted to share that. If that resonates with anyone, it might help you understand what you're currently experiencing or what might be ahead. So, yeah, that's my insights. A lot more to come, and I'll keep sharing them as they come through. So, if you are interested in doing some work with me, I do offer a number of, divine partnership sessions. And I often share this and laugh about this. I've been doing this work now, actively doing this work now for over a year, but I had such incredible resistance to doing this type of work because my focus is more primarily on people's own individual ascension, spiritual development, awakening path, and my focus is on the bigger picture and how the planet goes through that. And even though twin journey has been my journey, and I interact with a lot of people also who are on that same journey, I had resistance to doing this work. I was like, there was no way that I wanted to do this type of work, which has been a theme in my life. So when I realized that it was a calling that I had to kind of embrace, and I had to like let down some of my resistance guards to doing this work, a lot of things changed in my life because I was no longer resisting what I knew I had to do. And I, now doing it, like so much has changed in my life. I've said that like a broken record. Sorry, guys. So I guess if that's a message for you, is like, whatever we resist persists. And if we have resistance to something, then there's something to be looked at in that. Because I felt like there was a lot of stagnation and blockages. When I broke down that resisting, I'm like, okay, I'm going to embrace this work and I'm going to see where it leads me. like everything else kind of opened up for me, and it was amazing. And I'm very, very grateful for this journey. And, you know, looking back, I wouldn't change a thing because I absolutely love the work that I do. You know, I love assisting people on this path to help make greater sense of their journey. I certainly don't have all the answers. You know, I think we're all kind of, we don't have a guidebook and we're just trying to work it out as we go along. But, you know, it really helps to have perspective of someone else who's, you know, who's going through it as well, and we can share information, and that way we get a better grasp on the bigger picture and how to navigate through with grace and ease. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. So just to have a better understanding, if you feel guided to work with me, the different, specifically the different divine partnership twin services that I offer, you know, I have the guidance sessions, which is more of a conversational style session. I have the energy alignment session, where I work with clearing and aligning both energy bodies. I have the get the name, the full package. So that one is an alignment energy with me, and then it's a session with a divine masculine to have more of a strategy coaching session. So you're working with both the energy component, the 5D energy component, with me, and that's a 2-hour session, and then an hour session more 3D related things, shall we say, with the divine masculine, and then a follow-up consultation with me. So they're the three. Now I'm throwing in, because I feel guided to do this. There'll be a fourth session which will be similar, so it'll be a double session. So it's just an energy clearing with me. So it's just working on your own energy. Some people don't want to work on the merging aspect, so it's just an energy alignment with me for about an hour, and then the divine masculine coaching session. So I want to throw that out there at a more affordable cost, so that people can access that if they feel that that's a benefit to them. And certainly a lot of people who have taken up those type of sessions have really benefited, because it's kind of, not only is it two perspectives and working on two different aspects in your life, but I think it's also the combination of working with both energies of me and the divine masculine. So yeah. That's that. I'm gonna cut off there, but just sending you all heaps of love, and if you have any questions, you know, you can contact me. My details are below, and until next time, mwah! Sending much love. Bye.